have too many books. They're too precariously stacked. I don't have enough room for this. I need a bigger infrastructure. So today, I want to bring you my Victober / October TBR. So if you don't know, Victober is basically Victorian October. It's from October 1st to 31st, and basically all you do is just read Victorian literature, which is literature from England, Scotland, Wales, and I believe Ireland, in the reign of Queen Victoria, which is 1837 to 1901. This will be my first time participating. I just happened to miss it last year, and I am just stoked. I've rewritten my TBR like 3 times. I'll probably end up rewriting it again, but we're just going to go with it. I will leave the links for all the hosts down below. So this has 6 challenges, and in order to complete Victober, really all you need to do is read some Victorian literature, but I'm going to try to do all 6 challenges because I'm a masochist and an overachiever. The first one is Katie's challenge. That's Katie from Books and Things, and her challenge is to read a Victorian book that equates to your favorite modern genre. And my 2 favorite genres are fantasy and mystery. And so I decided to go with mystery because that's a little easier for me to find. For mystery, I decided to read Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's A Study in Scarlet and the Sign of 4. This is the Wordsworth Classic Edition. I love Sherlock Holmes, and I haven't read any of these books in years, so I'm really excited to jump into these. So next is Lucy's challenge, and that's Lucy from Lucy the Reader, and that is to read a Victorian diary or collection of letters. And for that, I don't have a physical copy, it's on my Kindle, but I'm going to read Leaves from the Journal of Our Life in the Highlands by Queen Victoria. I also have liquid over here, that was smart. Next is Kate's challenge, and that is to read a new to you book and or short story by a favorite Victorian author. I have recently discovered the wonderful Elizabeth Gaskell. I read 2 of her short stories after hearing a few booktubers just rave about her writing. And even though one of the short stories was just kind of so-so, I love the way that she writes. And I love the thought that she put into the stories. So for that, I'm going to read Mary Barton. I think I'm going to be loosely buddy reading this with Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky in Space. We just discovered that we both have the same taste in classics. And then next is the Reader's Challenge. Read a Victorian book from a previous Victober TBR that you never got to, or one that you've been meaning to read for ages. I love Charles Dickens, and I haven't read his books in quite a while. I decided the other day that I want to do a full read-through of his work, because even though I've read a lot of his novels, I haven't read all of them. So I'm going to go in chronological order of when they were published. And so the first book is the Pickwick Papers. I have heard that this is really funny and that it's very, very good. So I'm super excited because the other books I've read by him have all been extremely depressing, yet good. So it'll be interesting to read a funny book by Charles Dickens. Next is the General Challenge, where you read a book while wearing something Victorian or Victorian-esque. And they leave the interpretation up to us. I don't really have anything Victorian-esque. The closest I could come up with is this shawl that I made a while ago. I'm thinking of the lace detail is kind of Victorian. Let me know. Finally, the last challenge is to read the group book. And the group book is Shirley by Charlotte Bronte. I haven't read this one, but Jane Eyre is one of my favorite classics, and it's one of my favorite books, period. And I actually just reread it earlier this year, and I love it just as much as I did before. So I'm excited to read this. I'm going to go into it blind, but I've heard this one is also wonderful. Kate Howe is also having kind of a side group read, and the book is Two in a Tower by Thomas Hardy. I have not read that, but I did read Tess of the Uberbills and loved it. So I'm excited to delve more into Thomas Hardy's works. And basically, we're all going to read the audiobook together or listen to the audiobook together. And then while you're listening to the audiobook, you do some kind of craft. So knitting, cross stitch, crochet, basically any craft or hobby that you enjoy. So I always have a couple knitting projects going on, so I'm probably going to do that. She has a Voxer group, so we can all discuss it, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's my Victober TBR, and let's get to my October TBR because I already have way too many books to read as it is. So the first book is Incendiary by Zoraida Cordova, and this is our group book for my book club, the Space Sirens book club. It's a YA fantasy book. I'm going into it blind. I don't know a ton about it, but the cover is absolutely stunning. And as soon as I saw the cover, I was like, I am going to love this. Next is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by Victoria Schwab. I'm so excited. I'm going into it blind. I don't want to know anything. I don't want any expectations. I just want to enjoy it. I'm also going to continue reading Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Danny from Spinelli Speaks and Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky in Space are hosting a Crime and Punishment read-along, and I believe the completion date for all of us to finish this book is October 31st. I'm really excited. I love this book so far. Next, I want to read Edge Dancer by Brandon Sanderson. He has the audacity to call this 250-page book a novella, but I love it. Storm Along 2020 is still going on, and this book falls between Words of Radiance and Oathbringer in the Stormlight Archive series. But I want to try to squeeze this in before I start reading Oathbringer. Next, I want to start Oathbringer. This is book 3. This thing is bigger than my face. For real. And you could seriously do exercise with this book. It's, I believe, 1,300 pages. They just keep getting bigger. But I don't mind that. So I won't read this whole book this month, but I'm going to read, I think, about half of it. And I can't wait. I need to see how it goes. I have already started this, but I want to finish, and that is Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. This is the second book in the Farseer trilogy. We are reading this in Michael Knipp's Discord. I'm a month behind everybody else, so technically I should have had this read already, but I'm behind. But Michael, I think, just wants us all to be in pain because Robin Hobb likes to be horrible to her characters. And it hurts my heart. And I needed time to heal after Assassin's Apprentice, but I think I'm ready to get back into this world. And if I happen to organize myself and time everything appropriately, I do want to at least start Assassin's Quest, which is the last book in the trilogy. And for Leslie's Discord, we're going to be reading Devil's Creek by Todd Kiesling. And I am not really a horror reader, but I looked at the synopsis of this book. It's an indie publisher, I believe, or a self-pub book, but it deals with religion and I believe possession, and it just sounded like it was going to be really good. Finally, I'm also going to read Death Overdue by Alison Brooke, and this is for the Cozy Mystery Book Club. This is book 1 in the Haunted Library Mystery Series. This follows Carrie Singleton, and she is offered a job as the head of programs and events at the local library, and apparently it is spooky, and as usual in cozies, they get involved because they found a body, but I think it'll be really good. But that is my Victober TBR, my overly ambitious TBR, but what else is new? But are you planning on participating in Victober? If so, let me know. Let me know what you're reading. Or are you planning on reading any of these books with us? Let me know. As always, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.